Hello. Welcome to this new thing that I'm doing. So, if you are listening on the podcast or if you are tuning into this YouTube channel for the first time, welcome. First, let me address my podcast listeners. So, you've probably been aware that I have not been on publishing any episodes lately for quite a while, actually. And that has been I'll talk about it at some point, but what I want to let you know today is that finally some clarity has set in, and I am transitioning this podcast to be something else. And if you're a listener of mine, this isn't the first time you've heard this story, but things feel way different now. Way different now. So, the first thing that you're going to see the next time that you tune into this podcast is that the name will change. I am now going to be calling this podcast You're Golden. And I'm also putting this podcast on YouTube. So if you are a YouTube watcher right now watching this video for the first time, this is my really first foray into being on YouTube, and it feels exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. So I'll just give you a little bit of a lay of the land, how things are going to be structured. So the first thing to note is that, like I've been doing before, there is no consistent schedule as to when anything will be released. When I get the message that I need to share something, that is when it will be shared. Now, that doesn't mean that eventually there won't be some kind of routine or set schedule or some kind of, structure. I personally really love structure, but sometimes it's best for me to not have structure, which is odd, but it's something that I'm learning about myself and learning to be comfortable with. So that's the first thing to know. This podcast or this YouTube channel won't be updated weekly. It absolutely will not be updated daily. Now that that's come out, now it feels like, well, maybe one day. I would hope that it gets updated at least monthly. The humanness in me is saying that that's my minimum, but we shall see. The only thing that is consistent is that when I get the message to share something, that is when it will be shared. So, the other thing with this structurally is that all of this content on the podcast, on my YouTube channel, and in my newsletter, all the same content. So, how I will be doing this is that I will be writing a newsletter, and then that is going to serve as my script, more or less, for my podcast and my YouTube channel. If you like to listen to things, you can just listen to the podcast and you're up to date. If you like to read things, just sign up on my newsletter list, read the email that comes through, and you're up to date. YouTube is the only one that's going to be a little different. I'm going to have, I know that you can create, what is the word? Different playlists, more or less. So there's going to be a Your Golden playlist that will be the same as the newsletter and the podcast. I have been receiving insight that I need to do more video, and I don't know what that will look like down the road. So right now I'm starting where I'm a little bit more comfortable and just recording the podcast in a video format, putting it on YouTube. We're great. Okay. Now, I have a feeling that I'm going to get into more video content that's more of a vlog type thing. Like, I don't know. That feels, it feels two things. It feels very exciting. My inner influencer is so pumped and jazzed, like, yay, finally, we're going to do this thing. But a lot of my other being is just like, you're gonna tell people about your life? That's weird. nobody cares. So I'm going to fight through that fear and that resistance and get into it. And I'll talk about why and all of those things later on. So today, the main thing and for this message is just letting you know where we're going and letting the podcast listeners know that this title is going to change to You're Golden. And yeah, it's basically the audio version of my newsletters. So I want to talk a little bit about the name You're Golden. It's such a nice name. Like, I don't know, I just hear it and I'm like, oh, that feels so warm and cozy. So where it's coming from, I have a feeling that over time it's actually going to come more and more clear as to why the name is what it is. On the most basic level, it's something that we say. Specifically, well, I'm from the Midwest and I know that I hear this saying often, and it's this sense of you say it to someone when they're good, like they're set, they're good to go, there's nothing else for them to do. It's really common to say it in like customer service type of interactions, like in retail and things like that, of like after the transaction is over and maybe the customer is like, is there anything else? And then the cashier is like, nope, you're golden. Go ahead. You're good to go. And I felt this sentiment was really important for the direction that I'm going with my messages, I suppose, is that in spirituality and in connecting with what's bigger than you and trying to live your life in the most aligned way and aligning with your purpose and all these lovely, lovely things that we really search for, we have a tendency to make it really important and a really big thing that we have to chase after and to go do. And I'm absolutely not saying that that's wrong necessarily, or that I've never done it, because I certainly have. The point that I'm getting at is that there is just so much gold in your everyday life. And in your everyday life, you are being led at almost every single moment to be on your most aligned path. And it's just, I really want to come across or like get the message across that you're golden. There's not much more for you to do. All you need to do, quote unquote, do, is be open and aware and listen to the messages coming to you at any moment. That's all you need to, quote unquote, do. Otherwise, like everything else that we tend to do, especially if you're going in the more spiritual route, is we have this tendency to like try every single little thing possible. Like, let's go into the Akashic records. Let's do some plant medicine. Let's go get our tarot cards read. Like, and then let's be practitioners of all of these things. Like, we just like get onto this, I don't know, the spiritual train and make every stop because that might give us more information on who we are, what we're here to do. It'll make us more spiritual. It'll, whatever we tell ourselves. And it's a lot of wasted energy. I absolutely believe that we all probably need that to some degree. I guess need is not quite the right word, but it's completely okay and understandable why someone would have that as a part of their journey. I certainly have had that as a part of my journey. But then there comes a point where you realize like that's wasted energy. Some of those things are not even for you. What's the reason why you're even doing those things? Were the reasons in integrity, or were they because you were really grasping for straws and really trying to make something out of nothing? So I always want to take us back to this notion that we're golden. Like, there's not much more for us to do. We'll get the answers when we need the answers. But I believe it feels like there's more to the name, but it feels like it'll be revealed in due time. But that is the basis for right now. Okay. So that about does it for this first episode. First, what do you call it? YouTube channel video? This first video. That's it. It's a video. Yeah, that about does it for this first one. I just wanted to kind of set the stage here and let you know where we're going. And that if you do want to be a follower of what I put out, pick the mode that works for you the best, because you're going to get the same thing from YouTube, the podcast, and the newsletter. Well, I think that does it. And just remember, you're golden. You are so golden.